Good morning, everybody. Look at you. You all got up this morning. You got out of bed, and here you are. I love it. 2013 is coming to an end. Isn't that nice? It's been an intense year for sure. Oh, my gosh. And now we're moving into 2014. And people have been asking me, like radio shows, or Tuesday I'm going to be on Care 11 giving predictions, which is really not my strong suit. When I look into the new year, I actually get a very positive feeling. I didn't have such a positive feeling about 2013. 2013 felt like a mixed bag of everything. And it wasn't like we could just say one thing, oh, this is going to stand out. It's like everything was going to stand out in 2013. But the one thing I do remember when I was meditating last year about the new year was I was talking to God one day in meditation, and I just said, okay, what's going to be different about 2013? And what I heard was that we were going to go back to the way it used to be in colonial days. And my memory really isn't that good, so I asked, okay, what exactly did they do back then? And the information that came through was that they took care of each other in all these little colonies all over the globe. When a family would get hurt, everybody would come and help. And, we've seen movies where if somebody's barn burns down, everybody comes and they build a new barn. And my inner voice said that was what was going to happen in 2013, was that we were going to see people doing it the old-fashioned way. Instead of relying on the government or relying on, strangers, people would come in and they would help out. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to watch and see if that's really how this goes this year. And it really did. I saw so many cool stories in the news or in magazines of people coming to other people's aid when their families were hurting, when they were stressed, when they were going through hard times. And every time I saw that, there was something so sweet inside, such a nice feeling about how we're coming together as a people instead of just focusing on the outsiders to come and fix us. And I see more of that in 2014. It's like we've kind of turned the way that we live our lives. And lots of people have lost jobs, and yet what's happening is they're finding other talents that they had. People are starting to see the positive for why they've gone through such hard times. And it really has been. I mean, I bet you there isn't one person in here that could raise their hand and say, no, I haven't gone through any hard times. It's been rough. And there's lots of times I think stuff just isn't fair. And yet it keeps on happening. And that's why we're here, so that our souls can keep growing. And now we're headed into a brand new year. And one thing that's cool about December 31st is that we all seem to go into the new year with a feeling of hope, or at least we're praying for hope. We're thinking, okay, this year it's going to be different, and the universe is going to be good to us, and we're not going to have to go through our traumas. And there is that feeling in the air. And also on New Year's Eve, there's going to be a new moon, which always brings in new energy. And if any of you were here a couple weeks ago when Christine Day was here, she talked about a new energy coming in today on December 29th, which I thought was really interesting. That when Gary asked me, I don't know, it was a couple of months ago, he asked if I would speak on December 29th. And it felt like a really positive day to come and just share the positive feelings that are going on in the world. The bummer for us is that we turn on the TV and all we see is the negative. All we see, all we hear is stuff we need to be worried about. My husband and I were talking. My husband, isn't that fun to say? My husband and I. Yay! Thank you. My husband and I were talking this morning on the way here about how so many of us, we've been hearing that this morning it was going to be minus 48 degrees. And so what that does is it immediately puts fear in us that we're all going to freeze to death on the way to church. Our cars aren't going to start. There's no way to get there. We're going to have to trudge through the snow, but then we're all going to die in a snowbank. And, it trudges up all this stuff. And so then we just focus on how cold we are and how we're not going to, this is like the worst thing that's ever happened to us in our lives. And then, as he pointed out to me in the car, okay, what did your cell phone say? Well, it's only -4. Okay, so I guess it's not so bad, is it? It's like we have two choices always. We can go towards that, oh my God, it's going to be -48, or oh my gosh, maybe it's only going to be -4, and maybe we are going to survive, and maybe the car will start, and maybe we don't have to wear 4 layers of clothes to get to church today. So every day we have those choices of which way are we going to think, which way are we going to believe. It's so interesting. A lot of you are probably on Facebook, and it's so interesting to look at the posts. They're either really heavy duty or they're really, oh, I'm so grateful. It's like we've got a mixture all the time going on in the world of how we're viewing our lives, how we're viewing others. And what I see for this new year is more of the good. I really do. I'm not pulling your leg. I'm glad I wasn't here last year talking about what I saw for the new year, because it was just a lot of intensity and a lot of upheaval in people's lives. But you know what? We're kind of getting used to the upheaval. We're kind of learning how to go with the flow of, okay, so I just had a tough experience, but I've proven that I can get through all of these experiences. And so it seems, or it looks like in the visions, that we've learned a lot of things in 2013. We've learned how to deal with loss. A lot of people have learned to deal with loss this year. And we've learned to deal with loss in many different ways, not just with our loved ones, but through jobs. A lot of people have lost faith that they once had. People are feeling very discouraged about, they don't want to trust God, they don't want to go there, they don't want to be vulnerable anymore. But again, it's like there's a shift that's taking place right now that I see psychically when I tune in just to look at the world in general. Where are we headed? And I have to say that even though the intensity is still going to be there, there is, I get this image of like a layer of hope and a layer of almost an attitude of, bring it on, it's okay, I can handle it. People are what would the word be? We've become very resilient to whatever the universe has for us to deal with. And it's pretty good. It's really pretty good. It's like, and I'm sure other psychics go through this experience too, of you can just kind of sit back and look at the world, look at the energy going on in the world. And again, it's like for about this much of it, there's this very calming energy that's going to be here with us. And so we're not going to have this feeling that we're all alone right now, that we have to figure it all out by ourselves. I think we're all really tired of that one. And so what's happening now is that we are going to a place of realizing, okay, I can rely on the universe to give me answers. I can rely on my loved ones to show up when I'm having a hard time. I can trust people. I can tell people that I'm having a hard time. And we're seeing a different kind of rallying right now with people in the world. One thing I saw the other day, I was doing a reading for someone, and they were talking about one thing we all need to really work on before this new energy comes in is a message that we all got about ourselves when we were young. Okay, so what that means is it was interesting. The image was that the person that I was reading had holes in their aura. And for those of you who don't know what an aura is, it's the energy around your body that for a person that reads auras, they can look at your aura and they can see where the troubled spots are emotionally and physically. And there were holes in this person's aura, and it had to do with beliefs that they have about themselves that continue to affect them now in their adult life. Example is, when you were little, did anybody ever say to you that you're stupid, or you're ugly, or you're fat, or you're not going to amount to much, or, gee, it's too bad you're the way you are? That kind of message. Or maybe they just implied it, okay, because you couldn't do your homework, you couldn't understand a math problem, you were having a hard time writing the way everybody else wanted you to write, and you were getting the message that you're stupid, okay? You just don't get it, do you? You're stupid. You're never going to amount to much. Okay. So we grow up and we say things like, yeah, my dad thought that I was really stupid, or my mom was always on me about my weight, and what happens then is that we continue on with the messages. We continue to tell ourselves, I'm not pretty, I'm fat, I'm stupid, I'm never going to get it, and I'm never going to amount to much. Okay, what the guides said, I did a meditation the other night, and the guides said that we need to cut the cords from those beliefs because it's continuing to affect us. It's continuing to affect how we function in the world. It's so subtle, and we can say to ourselves, yeah, my dad used to say, I'm stupid. And we might think, yeah, he said that to me when I was 6 years old, and then he would imply it as I got older. And we think, okay, Dad's no longer alive, so that's no longer affecting me. But that's not true at all. We're good, faithful students, okay? Whatever our parents taught us, we carry that with us through the rest of our lives. And maybe your parents didn't mean to be like that, and maybe they really didn't even say those things, but you felt them. On some level, you felt that negative message about yourself. And so what we have to do is to remember, think, really stop and think, okay, what are the messages that I do have about myself? I'm not lovable, I'm not trustworthy, I'm dumb, I'm not much of anything, okay? Those messages surround our aura, all right? And so every time we try to do a new thing, we try to learn something new, we think about maybe getting a different job, something in there in our aura stops us. And those little messages continue to affect us. And so what's nice is that now we're adults and we get to do it differently. We get to cut the messages. They showed me an image of a person believing that they're just not worthy. I mean, they're just not worthy of anything, really. And it was an interesting image because that belief had a string that went right to the heart. And so we carry those messages in our heart. We take them to heart, those negative things that people said to us. And we think, out of sight, out of mind, we don't hear about them anymore. No one says that to us anymore. Oh yeah, we say it to ourselves all the time. We keep reinforcing that. And that's what we need to let go of now. Today is December 29th. Christine talked about a brand new energy coming in today. I have been seeing for the last 3 weeks, it's interesting, I have a psychic development and advanced class, and we practice doing psychic work. And the last few weeks, whenever I tune in, the last 3 weeks, there's been an energy that has been kind of preparing us now for the new energy coming in today. And It's been about preparation. So if you think back to the last 3 weeks, and it's interesting too because Christmas brings up a lot of memories for people. So if you think back to the last 3 weeks, what messages about you have been coming up to the surface, okay? When you're out shopping, you feel like, oh, you're just not going to find the right gift for anybody because you just don't, okay? Do you feel incompetent? Do you feel unworthy? You know, what are those underlying messages that you're carrying around in your aura that need to be clipped, that need to be gone? It's like, that's what 2014 is about, is seeing the positive not only in ourselves, but seeing the positive out there in the world. When we turn on the news, if they start in right away with negativity, got to shut it off, okay? We are the ones that need to start saying to the world, okay, if you're not going to give me some positive news, I'm shutting you off, all right? We're the ones that are making the changes now. If you hang out with negative people, that's not going to happen anymore. 2014 is about getting rid of those people in our lives that suck us dry, and then we walk away feeling totally drained. That's not going to happen anymore. That's what this new energy is about, is pushing us out of the old way of thinking about ourselves and moving us into a place of, wow, really believing the good about ourselves, okay? That's what it's about. And that's why there's such a push. Because there's been a lot of TV shows lately about Jesus. And there's a lot of mixed messages about Jesus. And a lot of people get confused about Jesus. And so people say to me, I don't even want to hear about him because I don't know what to believe. But one of the things that has always come very clear to me when I have studied the books about Jesus the man is that he was not about saying, hey, look at me. He was about saying, hey, look at all of us. Look at you. You and I are no different. Okay, that was what he was trying to get the message to us about, is don't look at me as the guy who's going to do it all, because you have just as much potential as I do. And what he really said to us is, it's just that I've been off studying, and I've been off learning and meditating, and I've been off getting connected to God. And so that's why I'm here to teach you about God, so that you can have the same thing that I have. And we're not taught that, at least I wasn't taught that in church, that's really what he was saying, is that, hey, you're no different than me. You and I are brothers and sisters, and we all have the same potential, and we all have the same Father, Mother, God, okay? Because God is a complete balance of male and female energy, a complete balance. Excuse me. So that's what his message was about, is don't make it about me, don't make it about me. You've got the same thing. And so many people are afraid to hear that message because they don't feel worthy. So that's, again, what 2014 is about, is start really recognizing that you do have that same potential, that you are that same beautiful soul that he was, that we need to get rid of the negativity. I mean, the thought of Jesus walking around going, oh, I can't do this because I'm just not worthy. It's like, I can't even imagine that he thought like that, because he always spoke in ways of empowering all of us, not just himself. He never walked around saying, yeah, I'm pretty cool, I'm the Messiah, you know. I'm the one that's got it. Sorry, you don't. I mean, that wasn't the way his message was, at least the books that I've read. And I've done a lot of reading because I wanted to understand this guy since I was a little girl. Because I've always known there's something there really important that he wanted us to get. And what he wanted us to get, that understanding that He is on the same level we are. He's a human being that came in to study and learn about his own potential as a child of God. And then his message was, okay, you can do everything that I can do. And we all know he said that, because that's in John, and we hear that quote a lot. You can do these things and greater, okay? So that's what we need to do. Those of us that are on this spiritual path, is we've been searching a lot. We're searchers. That's what we do, seekers. And what are we seeking? We're trying to understand ourselves better. We're trying to understand God better. We're trying to learn how to deal with these lives of ours here on earth, which are not easy lives. And so, what did he say? He said, go within, right? Right. And so, now I need to talk about intuition, and some of you that know me are like, oh my God, there she goes again. But it's what I have to talk about. Because our inner voice is truly the voice of God within us. And it took me a long time to understand that. When I was younger, I used to think intuition was just this fluky thing that women had. Just this odd little thing that we had, and the guys didn't have it. So, too bad for them. And my mom taught me. My mom always said, you know, now honey, what does your tummy say? I'm like, what does my tummy say? My tummy doesn't say anything. But she would always point to my intuition in my tummy. And she'd say, yep, it's in there. You'll know what to do. It's in there. I'd be like, And so it took me a few tries, many, many tries, to learn, oh, that's what that meant. Oh. And then it was when, let's see, how did it all happen? Went to Unity, decided I wanted to be a Unity minister, so I took all the courses for a year, the prerequisite courses, and it was in that year that we were studying a book called Lessons in Truth by Emily Cady. And it's talking in this book about the still small voice within, and that this is the voice of God. And I'm thinking, okay, let's see now, I got that thing called intuition, and now there's another voice in there, still small voice. And I don't know how long it took me to realize that that is all the same thing. And that sweet, sweet, silent voice within us, that knowing, women refer to it as knowing, and men refer to it as their gut. Okay. Men say, well, my gut, I don't know. My gut just says we got to do this. And women say, doesn't make any sense, but I just know this is what we're supposed to do, okay? It's the knowing. It's that interesting feeling on the inside where it's not based on fact. It's nothing anybody's teaching you. It's a knowing that this is the path that you need to go down. It's a knowing of the truth about everything in your life. And that's what we're all really looking for. It's not outside of us, it's actually inside of us where the truth is, where the truth of all of us is. And because every one of us has that inside, that's what connects us to each other, is that amazing energy inside. Okay, it's kind of like if you have brothers and sisters, or if you have cousins, or anybody in your family, the physical, what do I want to say? The physical parts of you, let's just put it that way, connect you to each other. You know, your sister or your brother. You know you're connected because of your physical bodies. Okay, our souls are connected because of that divine part of us inside. And that's where we need to go to find the truth about every situation in our life. It's really cool. It's like, I always think of it as mankind's greatest secret is our intuition. And so that's what Jesus was always talking about, is the go to the secret place within you. That's where you find God, is that secret place inside. And it's really not, at first, when you're trying to find it, because it's a funny little voice, the problem with it is that it's silent. So how do you hear a voice that's silent? And that's when you go back to that place of it's that inner knowing. It's that inner knowing, and I know you know what I'm talking about, although your head might be sitting there going, I have no idea what you're talking about. But there's that deeper part of you that does know, does have a knowing of what that knowing is. And that's what we're all looking for. We're all trying to understand our connection to each other, our connection to God. We're trying to understand this connection. That's what it is. It's this connection. Okay? It's okay. Okay. So for today, what I'd like you to do over the next couple days, because this is the 29th, so we still have a couple more days before we dive into the new year and the new energy. What I'd like you to do is really give some thought to what are those messages that you carry around in your aura about yourself. Do you feel worthy? Do you feel worthy of having the happiness that you desire? Do you feel worthy of abundance and prosperity? Do you feel worthy of good health? Do you feel worthy to find love or to have a loving relationship? Do you feel worthy? That's the big question. That's the big question, because what we feel worthy of is what we draw to us. And that's why we need to really understand what messages are still affecting our lives, what messages are still pounding in our head that we're not worthy, we're not good enough, we're stupid, we're fat, we're ugly, we're dumb, we're whatever, all the negativity, okay? It's so much easier for us to accept that stuff rather than me standing here and saying, you're totally worthy of everything that you would like to have. Really? That's right away what we think, really? That's why we have to get rid of that negative stuff that's creating those holes in our aura, because when we have holes in our aura, then we have bad health. And that's the bummer. That's the downside to having those holes in our aura. So we need to fill up those holes with positive energy, positive beliefs about ourselves. So over the next couple of days, I'm giving you a homework assignment. I want you to think about, okay, what were the messages that you got about yourself when you were little? And then what other messages have you gotten about yourself as you've grown up? And which one of them, even though you think they were stupid or they were mean for saying those things to you, we are faithful children with our parents. We carry their messages on with us, okay? Even if they hurt us, we still carry them with us. And again, I'm not making this about your parents because they probably carried those messages from their parents, okay? And it goes on and on and on. And we don't want to carry those messages, but we do. And so for the next 2 days, I want you to really think about what negative messages am I carrying about myself that are keeping me from having the life that I want to have. Because really, our aura, it's like our calling card to the universe. It lets the universe know what we feel worthy of. It lets the universe know what we want. We can sit here and say, I want the greatest love of my life to come in now. But if you don't feel worthy of that, it's just not going to come. If you think, oh, I want the greatest job ever, if you don't feel worthy, it's not going to come. And that's why you have to think of yourself as the energy that you have in front of you, in your aura, that you're sending out to the world. Again, it's like your calling card, okay? It's giving the messages to the universe that this is who I really am, and this is what I really believe, and this is what I really want, okay? And so that's why if you're finding yourself, you're going to church week after week after week, and they keep telling you, you know, you can have everything that you want, and you're sitting back thinking, okay, then how come I don't have anything I want? That's why. Because those negative messages get in our way. And if we're not feeling worthy of being happy people, and that's really what it boils down to, if we don't feel we deserve happiness, it's not going to come. And so that's why. It's like, okay, 2013, yes, you were intense, and you beat us up a lot. And we had to go through a lot of experiences, and we had to experience loss. Loss was a big thing for 2013. Okay, but we're still going, and we got beat up a little bit, and it was tough, and there were days when life sucked, and we didn't want to keep going, but we keep going anyway. Okay, but now the picture is a little bit different. Now we do get to have whatever we're sending out into the world. And that's why I want you to take this time over the next couple of days to really think about what is the messages that you send out. Not consciously. You're not consciously sending these messages out. They've been with you for a really long time. And it's just time to be done. It's like, okay, enough. So let's make a commitment to ourselves that if we turn on the news and we start getting blasted with negativity, shut it off. Or let's take it a step further and ask them to maybe start giving us some good news every day. Don't give us one piece of good news at the very end of the newscast so we can go to sleep. Oh, that's lovely. No, let's bombard them with 25 minutes worth of heavy-duty stuff so that they won't trust anybody. And then we'll give them one little piece of nugget at the end. No. We are the ones that are going to flip all of this now, okay? We're the ones that are going to change the negativity. We are the ones. How do you like that? We are the ones that are going to show people the positive side of life. And if people are complaining because they don't have in their life what they want, then you, as Jesus would say to you, then just point out to them that they don't have what they want because they don't feel worthy yet, and that they can feel worthy. Again, that was a strong message that we got from Jesus, was he couldn't do it all by himself, and that's why he needed all the disciples that he'd had. He didn't have just 12 disciples. Oh my gosh. He had a whole bunch of disciples, men and women. And what he said to them is, I can't do this by myself, so you got to help me. And I want you to all go out to all different parts of the world and tell people that they are a child of God and that they are worth everything positive, everything good. That's what he said. And he said, would you help me? And so all of us in this room, that's our job now. That's our job. We're going to go out and we're going to show people what it feels like and what it looks like to believe in ourselves, all right? That's what we have to do. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to feel worthy. When we feel worthy, think about it. When you feel worthy, oh my gosh, there is no obstacle in your way, right? When you have that feeling inside that you can do anything, nothing gets in your way. Nobody's negative belief, nobody's negative attitude, they can't get in your way. No more. You know, when I first started doing psychic work, and it was, like she pointed out, it was a long, long time ago. People didn't like me or my family. They did not like what we did. And we got letters, we got phone calls, we didn't get emails back then. We got a lot of grief from people. And we lost friends. Friends were like, oh my God, you work for Satan. I can't have you in my life. And it would be like, what? Where does this stuff come from? Okay, well, I'm not going to get into all that stuff. But what was interesting was that one time I had a friend, a roommate, who said to me, I need to move out because Christmas is coming, and how can I have a spiritual Christmas if I live with you? And I was so shocked that she said that. She pointed out that it was her sister, a nun, who told her that. And so I was crying. I was really upset. My little heart was really broken. And so I called my mom. And my mom said, which was really cool, she said, honey, once we feel okay with what we do, people aren't going to say these things to us anymore. And she said they are just reflecting back to us our own questions about these beliefs, about what we do. And at first, I really didn't even understand what she said. But then as I was growing and I was getting older, and there came a certain point where I got very solid about what I was doing, and I understood that these were spiritual gifts. No more people bugged me. No more people said negative things. Or when they did, I mean, just a few years ago, believe it or not, I was in Nebraska giving a workshop on psychic development, and there were protesters outside the college protesting that I was even in their town, and all of the ministers of that town had written an open letter to all the citizens telling them not to take this workshop because it was of Satan. And they all signed the letter. Okay, this is just a few years ago. But you know what? It had completely changed. I had changed. I no longer believed that I deserved that. So you know what I did? I shot back a letter, an open letter to the citizens and told them how bad I felt for them, that they had these kind of religious leaders. Well, I did. Thank you. But the point is, as long as I believed what they were saying, or I questioned what they were saying, their negativity continued to affect my work as a psychic and my spiritual path. But once I got to a place where I knew that I was a good person, I was a child of God, I didn't deserve any of this, they stopped. They stopped writing letters to our family. They stopped calling our family, telling us how satanic we were. They stopped. And it was because the energy I was sending out in my aura was basically saying, bug off. You know, I don't believe your crap anymore. And so that's what I mean when I say, what is the calling card that you are giving to the world? Are you saying, hey, I'm a victim, you can come and slap me up on the side of the head and tell me I'm not worthy, or, you know, you just keep your opinion to yourself because I'm feeling good about myself today. And that's what we have to look at. And we have to cut those cords of negativity that we have believed about ourselves all these years. That's what we're here to do, okay? And then we're here to teach others how to do that too. It's very simple. And it's really important because, again, as child of God, as brothers and sisters to Jesus, that's what we're here to do, is just carry on that message and empower others that they can do everything that he could do and that we could do, okay? So what I'd like to do now is I would like to just do a little meditation and help you go in and cut some of those cords. It's not going to last long, maybe 7-8 minutes. Gary's going to play some nice, relaxing music. And so what I'd like you to do is just get comfortable. Take things off your laps. Just get comfortable. Okay. And now we're going to do a thing. It's a really cool thing that I'd like you to get in the habit of doing at least 2-3 times a day. It's called the clearing exercise. So I'd like you to take a nice, relaxing breath. And silently, I would like you to ask the universe, ask God to please clear you right now. Just say silently, please clear me. And then say, please clear my mind. Please clear my mind. Please clear my body. Please clear your body. And please clear your soul. Clear your soul. Okay, good, 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 good. Now, something else I'd like you to think about doing daily is I want you to visualize roots coming out of your feet. And it can be streams of energy. But I want you to visualize going down through the ground and wrapping those streams of energy around tree roots. Right now, our bodies have a very strong desire to be grounded. As we bring in this new energy, we need to feel grounded. So if you've been overeating lately, eating heavy foods, eating lots of sugar, drinking lots of caffeine, that's what's going on as your body is trying to ground right now. Okay. All right. I would like you to think about one negative message that came to your mind today. What's one negative message that you got as a child that has continued to affect you? I want you to think about that message for a second. And I want you to visualize a string of energy going from that belief that you carry in your body. I want you to visualize a string going to your heart. That energy, that message has affected you your whole life. It's affected the decisions that you make, the people you get into relationships with, the jobs that you take. That negative message has followed you your whole life. I want you to imagine yourself taking a pair of scissors and cutting that string, sending it away from your body. Now, something else that you can do, that healers do, is you can visualize yourself clapping that energy. And you can even do it out loud if you'd like. But clap, smash that negative message, break it up. And then I am going to ask the universe right now to send healing into your heart. That place inside that has held that belief. I'm going to ask God right now to send healing into your heart. I want you to imagine God's hands, one on your back and one on your heart. Just imagine hands of the universe sending the most loving healing into your heart. It's gentle, but very powerful. And I'm also going to ask God to please fill up the holes in your aura right now. Fill them up with a very beautiful white and gold light. And then I'm going to ask if he, she will run their hands down your aura and completely fill it in. I want you to feel whole today. Not full of holes, but whole. I want you to feel what it feels like when the universe cradles you in its hands. I want you to feel the support that the universe really wants you to give. Really wants you to give? No. Really wants you to feel that the universe wants to give to you. It's important for you to remember that God, the universe, our source, the source that created you and your soul, loves you unconditionally. Doesn't want you to walk around with holes in your aura or negative beliefs about yourself. They come from other people. They do not ever come from God. Ever, ever. When God looks at you, God sees the most adorable person walking around. Just adorable. And maybe it's been a while since someone told you how adorable you really are. But it's true. That's what God sees. God sees a bright light, a beautiful soul, full of all the same potential that God has, that Jesus had. That's the message you need today. That we are all sisters and brothers of our big brother Jesus, and that we all have the very same potential as he did. And I see one more thing before we end. I get this image of God wrapping a beautiful white blanket of protection around you. Just like wrapping a little baby nice and firm in a blanket of protection. The universe is wrapping you in a blanket of protection right now. And the way that you'll know it's there is if you feel worthy of it. So let it be there. Let yourself go into a brand new year feeling brand new. Okay. The healing in your heart will continue throughout the day. You will continue to feel that sense of protection around you. Whenever you need it, just ask for it. It'll be there. Okay, your body's feeling grounded, which is good. You might find yourself eating differently today. I'll count to 3, and when I get to 3, you'll open your eyes. 1, staying in that sweet softness of the white light. 2, remembering others sitting around you, remembering that there are many other people here, brothers and sisters. 2, wiggle your fingers and your toes and feel your physical body right now. I want you to take a nice deep breath again and feel your lungs expand. And 3, you're in your body. Your mind is clear. Your body is clear. Your body is grounded. Your soul is clear. Open your eyes when you feel ready. So that's my message today. Believe in yourself, okay? Believe in yourself as much as God believes in you. Fill up that aura. Let yourself receive it all, okay? All right. Thanks for coming today. Bye. All right, all you beautiful people. Look at you. What a great group of people. Look at how sweet you all are. I love you. All right. What's the blessing for today? I don't know. We're all blessed, really. You're all very sweet. I want you to celebrate yourself today, okay? That's the message, is we're going to celebrate ourselves today. We're going to be grateful for just who we are, how much we've gone through, how far we've come, and we're going to look forward to tomorrow, okay? God bless every one of you. Is that good? Okay. Woo! All right. Ho ho. All right, all you beautiful people. Look at you. What a great group of people. Look at how sweet you all are. I love you. All right. What's the blessing for today? I don't know. We're all blessed, really. You're all very sweet. I want you to celebrate yourself today, okay? That's the message, is we're going to celebrate ourselves today. We're going to be grateful for just who we are, how much we've gone through, how far we've come, and we're going to look forward to tomorrow, okay? God bless every one of you. Is that good? Okay. Woo! All right. Ho ho.